And my son is like the only kid that can sing The Galley Got Away by heart at 12, you know? This kid he's really into it. So here's Frank Sinatra on the set, you know? So I sidle over, you know, and make my move. He's by himself. Mr. Sinatra, I'm Tony Dance. He goes, the kid from Taxi? He's like, whoa, boy. That's great. Okay. Now I'm on a roll. See, he knows who I am. Okay. Now what happened? We start talking. I introduced my son, and my son is just, you know, enamored. What he did, Sinatra did something. You ever see if you go to a Sinatra concert, he leads the band, you know, he goes back to the audience and he leads the band.
Yeah.
And he's leading the band and then he cuts them off. Anyway, he cuts them off. And the band stops like right on the money. You know, like Montegiovanni couldn't have done it better. Stopped it. And he turns around. I know I said that. He turns around to the audience and he goes, eh? You know, and it was great. Like, look what I can do. So my son, of course, has to do this for Sinatra. I want to kill the kid. So he does it for Sinatra. Sinatra, of course, you know, I mean, I guess for Sinatra it was great. A 12-year-old. He's been around a while. He's a 12-year-old, and he's a fan too. So then Sinatra, he's got Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, Dean Martin, Jilly, and Hal Needham, and they're all arm in arm like this, you know, and the still photographers are going crazy after the scene. And my son gets the bright idea to run around and take a picture of Sinatra and the group, you know. I got my 35 millimeter. Anyway, he goes around, and by the time he gets there, though, they're breaking it up. So Sinatra sees him there, and he holds everybody.
So, yeah.
Hold it, guys. Go ahead, Mark, get the picture. And then he says, you got the picture, Mark? Yeah. And then he dismissed everybody, you know. And so, so my son comes back around, and Sinatra's standing there, and Sinatra sort of stands tall. I don't know how he does it. But anyway, my son comes up to his stomach, and he looks up at him, and he says, it was a joy to meet you. And he sort of bends his head, and he puts his arms around Sinatra like this. And Sinatra sort of like envelops him and says, it was a joy to meet you, too. And I'm standing there looking for a photographer, man.
Those will be right back. Pretty great. Thanks. All right, guys. You were a professional boxer?
Yeah, I had a few fights.
Did you win any?
I won 12, in fact.
Really?
All by knockout. I lost 3. I had 15 fights. So.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wasn't the best. I was a pretty good middleweight.
How did you get in the show business then?
They saw me fighting one night. I got knocked down twice in the first round, and I was looking for the referee to stop it. Where is this guy? But I got up, and the only reason why I know about this is because I saw the film, because I really wasn't there. I was sort of walking around. But I took a terrible beating, and with like 15 seconds left in still the same first round, I nearly got with the right hand, and he can't get up. And I win the fight. And it happens to be this guy from NBC there, and he gets me a screen test. Next thing I know, I'm on Taxi. They gave me money to move. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
You missed boxing at all?
You know what it is? There's a lot of good guys around, but you become a better boxer when you don't have to worry about surviving, I think, you know. So, yeah, I miss it a little bit. I'm still in pretty good shape. I'm 32, so those days are over.
You still have your fighter?
Yeah, I got my fighter. You know, I got a fighter. See, Pam knows.
How did you know that?
We used to be neighbors. We worked next to each other in the Paramount Law.
That's what I said. We missed Palmer. Mike the Duke DeLuca, the next cruiserweight champion of the world.
Coming right after. You have a fighter, Sarah?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a fighter?
No, I don't, actually.
Want one?
Do I need one?
I get one, Sarah. I can get you a deal on a fight. I want to say hello to my mom, my grandmother, and everybody else in Long Island.
And then we'll be right back. Your mom and who? I can't believe how quickly this hour goes here. It's a real privilege to have been able to be here on the Tonight Show again. I want to thank you, Sarah, for being with me, Pam and Tony.
Thank you.
You know, you can get a little bit nervous sometimes about the kind of guests who might be available, who you can get, and our office had a chance to get a hold of the people that I would like to have, and I really appreciate very much your being my guest tonight. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I want to thank you, folks, a great audience. Mr. Carson will be back here next week. Some of his guests during the week are Angie Dickinson, Terry Garr, Mariette Hartley, Maureen Murphy, baseball's Bob Ucker, and Shelley West. Doc, I thank you. It's a pleasure to work with you. Mr. D. Cordova, Fred, thank you. Everybody, good night. God bless you all.
A rich and beautiful woman is haunted by the specter of the madman who is determined to kill her. Barbara Eden and Robert Vaughn star in The Woman Hunter. Next on the Saturday Night Movie.